Driveline R&D podcast, episode 97. This Alex Caravan, VP of Biz Ops, still kind of head of data science, drinking a, check this out, Langin. Kershaw's Wicked Curve. I ran to the bottle shop and literally it was like the first thing I saw. But got a special guest on.
Just Langin, Director of Pitching at Driveline. We got a little Corona. This is it's actually the last one in the fridge. Bodie brought these when he came to AZ. So, I don't know if I know how to fucking open this thing though. Starting off with some curse. We got a bottle opener. Jeez, man. Great start. I got.
Let me coach you through it. Have you ever opened with your teeth?
No.
Don't do it if you've never done it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta. Have to cut this part out. Have my insurance go up.
Get a lighter or a pen or something, or anything that has leverage. You know what I'm talking about? And you can just like pop it.
Jeez, man.
Just hook it under. No, you gotta wedge it. Have it be like less perpendicular. Like start off more this way. Like you want to wedge it under your finger.
Where is your right hand, your right index finger the bottle? Is the bottle your left index finger right now?
No. My index finger is propped up like a little bit outside the circumference of the bottle. So I'm holding the bottle here, and then like my finger has like some give, and then you fit the like whatever it is, like any blocky thing between the cap and my finger. So like let me see. Fuck, I don't have.
We might just have to go with water today. There's no twisting, or tension or torque.
No. It's not twisting. It's just. Hold up, dude. Let me send you how to open. I can't believe I don't have an example. I can't believe I don't have a bottle example.
Well.
Wait, see anybody?
What are these guys doing? Filtering off some of their audience, man. I mean, you got to have a damn tool. Oh, here we go. You got to have a tool to open one of these damn things.
Yo, I asked someone in the facility if they have a bottle opener.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay, I'll talk. All right, that's hilarious. In the past episode, I think I have opened one of my teeth online. still got Langin's audio. Oh my god, it's so funny. But also speaking of. Fucking Kershaw still dicing with his curveball. I looked up his stats right before. I mean, this is just me riffing as I wait for Langin to. Oh, he's got something. I'll get this queued up.
Oh, you got about. All right, I could have. Can we get one of those in every office? Let's order about 20 of those. You can get them in every single damn office around here. Just like this.
Yo, Langin.
All right, we're back.
What happened?
Yep,
what happened?
You got it. I just smoked it. Jeremy put it on the table, yanked it.
That's an OG. That's an OG beard eye method too.
No, I found out we have one. I just didn't know its whereabouts. It didn't come prepared, man. That was a tough start, but we got a Corona, courtesy of Bodie. The cost benefit analysis right now it's costed a lot more stress, but. We'll see after a few drinks.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I just feel like that would have been the perfect one to do in person because I'm not trying to flex or whatever, but I probably opened a beer bottle with like 20 different things in my lifetime, including my teeth. Although, like a tip on the teeth, that's what I told you to not do it. I mean, first off, don't do it if you've never done it before. Teeth, though, I'm one of 2 people I know that have successfully opened up something like a beer bottle with their teeth and not gotten their tooth chipped. Because later, like sooner or later, bro, if you get cocky with it, you're just gonna chip your tooth. Like I've seen my friend chip like half his tooth, maybe not quite half, but like a good chunk, just like getting sloppy, doing at a party, drunk, boom. So anytime I do it, like if I miss you on the first one, like I don't push it, because you can get stubborn and say like, I can fucking do this, and then you just fuck up your teeth. But that's hilarious. Well, I was gonna say 2 things. A, dude, I kind of can't believe Kershaw's still just getting so many whiffs of this curveball. I just feel with him like throwing his slider more and more every year. I kind of forgot that this curveball is still nasty. I mean, this year like pretty small sample size, but he's getting like really good. He's probably getting hit a little bit by BABIP, I think, because his ex-WOBA is like 70 points lower than his WOBA. Same thing with XBA. But yeah, getting 40% whiffs, had 44% whiffs last year. His curve's still pretty fucking nasty.
That's kind of everybody always talks about that pitch, but like the slider's just like the volume
Yeah.
pitch. You know what I mean? It's always been like the curveball just like so left-handed, like 20 inches a short form movement or whatever vertically.
Yeah.
Super aesthetic, but I mean it's always I mean obviously once you get past like 20, what is it, 17, like the league, like he kind of just starts trending with the league with usage, and it just goes like more sliders after that. But I mean it's always the slider's always been the big boy pitch for him, just like the volume pitch.
Yeah, I mean the thing of Kershaw is I think, I mean, first off, it's crazy that he's still pitching so well and is so dinged up. I mean, he's not crazy old, but obviously his body's just got so many miles on it. He's like, it's like 5 years straight. I saw some stupid ass fucking tweet going around. It's not stupid, but it's just like very misrepresentative. Like someone's like, it was like Kershaw's first 8 seasons, 2.4 ERA, 0.98 whip, like whatever the stats are, you know, 3 Cy Young wins, 8 like top 3 Cy Young finishes, like whatever, and then like second 8 seasons of his career, 2.4 ERA, 0.99, you know, basically identical rate stats and like 0 Cy Young. So I was like, bro, have you seen him get injured almost every year though? Of course the dude is not winning Cy Youngs. They just, I mean, he's like been excellent on a rate basis, which is very impressive because his fastball has declined. His body's just like banged up. Back is like getting hurt like every other like playoff run. But of course you're not going to win the Cy Young when you're just injured every year. But it's potentially making a run this year. But what I was going to say is, yeah, Kershaw's always just been like super fucking smart. No ego too. When he came in and assessed with Driveline a few years ago, he just upped his slider around like 2015 when I think his fastball 2015 2016 when his fastball started declining. He just like realized like I can't throw like a 91 92 mile an hour fastball like 60% of the time anymore.
Right. But I can't see that one. It looks like 92.8 in 2017, and then like every year since then been under 92, and just like it's like a more of like a cutter too, or like basically like he can, you know, some guys have sliders that are like true, like it's a take or a whiff, like you can't throw it more than like 35% of the time unless if you just have, you know, it's just pretty rare to be able to do it. Shohei does it, but like being left-handed too, he can just like he's just going to get all righties. So he's adapted super well.
And the velo gap is hilarious too because he throws a slider hard. And like look at this year, 2018, he's throwing a slider 2.7 miles slower than his fastball, bro. That's fucking nuts. But I mean, I think it just worked from a deception point of view too, because you so rarely see that. But anyways, yeah, had impromptu start off.
How far along are we? 8 minutes, and this was not in my 95% confidence interval of like the topics we'd be discussing, mainly due to my lack of ability to open this Corona.
You didn't know what I was drinking. Also, I whipped up the Wicked Curve, dude. Also, I wanted to ask you about alcohol. Well, because we used to have like a little bit of Degen drink talk when it was me, Lindley, and Brady, mostly like, you know, trendy Seattle boy shit, you know, like, oh, what's your favorite IPA, like all this bullshit. But dude, I remember when I went with you to Gators one time, you had like a really strong like you didn't drink that many IPAs or anything at all, any IPAs at all growing up, right? You said like it tastes like carpet or something.
Oh no, I didn't know what the hell that was. I mean, honestly, man, like if somebody was watching this, they just saw me like, you know, unintelligent and like how much the lack of experience you have to have with alcohol to like just bring this in here and just like try to twist it open. So like, my you can probably filter down my like lack of alcohol experience or like taste in it. I'm one of those guys. I just like I had a Blue Moon once, and I was like, "Fuck, this tastes a little bit better than a Coors Light." And so and then you ever heard this Di Serrano stuff? Michael Poole showed me it at we were at a Culinary Dropout, a place in Arizona. I don't know if it might be like a chain. I really don't know, but. Got some Di Serrano on the rocks, and damn man, it's basically been Blue Moon and Di Serrano since then. There's not been much other taste in the.
I don't think I've heard of Di Serrano. It's a beer.
No, it's like a liquor or whiskey. I don't know. I don't know all the. I probably need to put more time into studying some of this stuff.
Put that shit on the game card, bro.
Yeah. God, dude. Where's ChatGPT, bro? I got a fucking gasket. What the hell? Amaretto? Amber-colored liquor.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. I don't know shit. I really don't know. Like, I mean, it seems like I clearly know a bit more than you, but I know very little about high-end booze. Also, I know nothing about high-end booze, dude. I'll tell this story quickly. I was telling this to someone else recently, but like back in college, I mean, first off, just as context, I mean, kind of similar to you, like, you know, high school, college, whatever. I was mostly crushing like light beers. You know, if we get our hands on like some hard A, sure. A couple Four Locos. Grew up in California. I mean, I had like West Coast IPAs and shit, like Lagunitas and stuff in college. But like, you know, not like whatever's available. You know, college part, like literally whatever's available. And then like right after I turned 21, I was out with this girl I was friends with, and then some of her friends that I didn't know at all, and we were like going to a bar. And she was telling me like, yo, tell this guy's like loaded, like one of the guys you're rolling with. She's like, tell this guy you like whiskey. He's a huge whiskey connoisseur. He's loaded. He'll just get you whiskey. And you know, I'm fucking 21, broke off my ass in college. So like, so you're telling me someone's gonna give me a drink at a bar? You know, like back then it's like you got to pregame before the bar. It's like you can't be spending money at a bar. You can only like you're spending money for like one or two drinks, maybe a fishbowl. But I was like, all right, word. So I rolled up to the bar, and I was talking. I'm like, yeah, bro, yeah, I love whiskey. And then he's like, oh, word? He's like, I'll get you something good. I was like, all right. And he comes back. And back then, like, you know, any hard alcohol I took at all was just shots, right? So he gives me like a double shot of like what I didn't know at the time was like $50, $60 whiskey. Like the thing was, you know. So I was like, oh, cheers, man. Just throw it all back. And then he's just like looking at me like mouth drop. He's like, dude, I thought you liked whiskey. I was like, yeah, it was good. Should we get another one? Or like, what's up? He's like, that was like $60 double shot of whiskey. I was like, so like what? Like I didn't know you were supposed to sip whiskey, you know. I just fucking threw it all back.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, they got like the fancy wine and shit, and it's like, you know, Jim's got like a glass of wine, and it's like that's like 6 ounces of fluid in there, and like the nearest thing I have in my mind is like water, and I know how fast I typically drink 6 ounces of water, so it just like tells the difference, you know. And then just like very classless, a very classless act. But no, bro, I feel that way with alcohol, like in not knowing like the I just don't have enough background information to know like you know, I think I told the story to you and Dudo about like Bodie one late night, we like ate dinner, and then he like brought out this like nice
wait, that tell the same story. That tell the same story that I told to you. That's what I thought. But the long story recently.
The long story short was like Bodie like makes this big. It's like, you know, these are the late night grinders or whatever. Something's anonymous. Here's the reward, and like he made this just like bomb ass dinner. I think he's talked about it. Like he made that bullshit comment. He said I'd never had chicken before or something. Yeah. You remember that? Like about 88 podcasts before. And it was a good meal. But then he like gets this bottle of like something. I don't know what the hell it is, but it clearly is alcohol. And he's just like, this is, you know, he's like presenting it, and like I'm sitting there, and like everybody else's eyes are like, you know, they're dilating, and they're like, they appear to have context of like how big of a reward it is. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, you could have grabbed some fucking grape juice, put it out there, and I would have I wouldn't have known any different. So like that, bro, yeah, that's just like, shit, dude, just give me a cup with like $60 in it instead, please. Like just put $60 in there, and like I'll make better use of that. That and bro, animals. I don't give a shit if it's not a cat, a dog, or any other animal that is typically seen, like in a household or like when you drive a car, like the top 10. I just assume they all can kill me. I just look at them and am just outrageously nervous by any type of animal. I don't. So like alcohol and animals are like the two things like most people have like context for, and I'm just like I sit there like completely clueless.
You're calling like a duck a zebra or like
like if there's like if there's like an insect, right?
Yeah.
I just like don't know what it's capable of, and I don't have that. Like I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know, it's just like does this thing have venom? Does it not? And sometimes like you can't read a book by its cover. You know, it's not always just like. There's not a lot of context clues with like the size of the beast or things like that. So I'm one of those people. I'm just like, fuck this, man. Like, I don't know what that thing can do, but I know it ain't a goddamn cat, a dog. A cat, a dog, a fucking an ant. What else we got? I don't know. If it ain't a cat or a dog, I'm just gonna assume it can kill me for the most part. That's like.
I was about to say, I can see you being rattled by ants. Then you're just like, you hear all this shit like ants, the most fucking strong ass motherfucker on the planet. You're like, yo, damn, can he pick me up or what? Like, I don't want an ant coming close to me, dude. That motherfucker's gonna double like me.
Oh, dude, animals. I don't know.
I thought you were talking about meat. I thought you were talking like steaks or something in the beginning when you started talking about animals. I know you meant just all animals.
Oh no! Anything there contextually is just like I have no clue what this thing can do, but everybody else seems to like give a behavior or body language.
Yeah.
I'm just like I think we should just walk away from this thing.
Dude, have you traveled much? Have you been outside of the country?
Nah. So my father raised me basically intentionally. Like very low dopamine household, more or less, like just like the no traveling really. It wasn't like intentional. We just like did just big safe.
You're from Nebraska, right? You're from Nebraska?
Oh yeah, Kearney, Nebraska. With like 30,000 people now. No, it's probably like close to 35,000. But yeah, there's just like not shit to do. That's the synopsis of it. But things are cheaper, so like there's a lot of good stories. We might not even get to talking about anything, to be honest, because this is just like something. But like the car, people gave me a lot of shit about the carpool lane when I first came to Washington. I was like, what? It's like what? Why? What is that? Why is this lane over here with like a symbol in it? Like I couldn't figure out why there was a lane over there, and I couldn't figure out why everybody wasn't driving in it. And apparently, like Nebraska is just like not big enough. Maybe Omaha, but it's not big enough to like have require one of those. And so people thought it was pretty funny that they called me Carpool Chris for a quite long period of time. But yeah, there was, long story short, not a lot of traveling, a lot of sports. Luckily I grew up in Kearney, Nebraska. So like the competition was low enough that like I could go play some basketball and be the ninth guy on the bench, in high school or whatever. So, but yeah, not a lot of traveling, not a lot of life experiences per se outside of some of this baseball stuff.
Outside of advanced scouting, no, I mean I was gonna say it's kind of similar story with Brady. I think. I mean he got out in Seattle for like college for undergrad because he went to UPS. But he told me the first time he like moved to Tacoma or whatever. He came from Idaho Falls, so he's used to like if something's 10 miles away, it's 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute drive, just
right, 100%,
whatever.
100%.
So it's like the first day he was like getting stuff from like a textbook store or whatever, and he like looked up something. He's like, oh, 10 minutes, I can fit that into 4 class. And then he started driving. It was like 40-minute drive for 10 miles. And he's like, oh, I'm fucked.
100%. That's very real. I do actually find myself being late to, like, I wouldn't say like absurdly important formalities, but like in my head I've got like. Yeah. I Google the destination and it's like 8 miles and it's like 11 minutes, but I also Google it like 1 a.m., and then I'm like, all right, next day I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'll get to my haircut then. And then I'm like, holy shit, it's 36 minutes. How did that happen? Like there's definitely some like small town benefits that just like are not noted and not possible to note until you leave, and then you're like, oh shit, you can actually just like go to the grocery store whenever the hell you want to. Versus like having to like kind of plan out the phases of anarchy, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm pretty opposite. I've only ever lived in like big urban areas. I was like Vancouver, SF, Seattle, LA. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've just been up and down the West Coast, but I've only ever lived in like urban areas. So yeah, that stuff hasn't been a surprise to me. But that's pretty fucking funny. But anyways, back to a little bit to baseball. I mean, director of pitching now. I think last time we had you on. Well, also I was about to say we bounced you out because you had one. Oh, you better grab another Corona, bro. You better grab whatever. you better DoorDash another fucking Corona. And a bottle opener. I think the first time you did the pod, you did it with just Lindley and Brady. Then you did it with all 3 of us, and now you're just doing it with me. So we got you averaged out to for everyone. Well, actually, it won't be averaged out because you did a double one with Brady and Lindley. But we haven't had you on while we've been director of pitching. Can give us the outlook. Like give us like how have the responsibilities changed. I mean, obviously I know a little bit, but to the crowd, like what's like new? What's also like new and altered for the pitching department at Driveline?
Yeah, right, man. I mean, honestly, the honest like big thing always just like it's a very it's a very like for most people I'd imagine at least it's just like not you can like maybe have like some projection or like some idea that like hey this may eventually be my role, right? But like you don't it kind of just like one day you do this, next day it's just like your responsibilities change completely, and it's not like it's not like a learning algebra or calculus or something where you like start with these steps. Like you just like skip like 12 of them, and kind of and like that's not like a thing that's like only in Driveline, right? That's just like pretty much everywhere. That's the feedback when I've read that just like, hey, yeah, you get a lot of these people who are very like skilled at their previous job task, and then they're naturally like kind of seen as, hey, if they're really good here, really respected, let's put them in the managerial leadership role. And yeah, it's like one of the
term for that, by the way. But yeah,
what is it?
There's a term in business where it's just like people only ever like. Yeah, I mean, it's like people get promoted eventually, like to a spot they can either like do well or like, can't do well. Because like you eventually like you're gonna run into whatever. But I mean, not hopefully not the case with you. But anyways, go ahead.
No, totally fair. Yeah. So like it's one of those things that like you have to like there is some amount of like just like being in it and like experiencing it, right? Like where you're just like. It's kind of easy to read about it and just like think in your head like, hey, that's how I would act in that role. But then like you actually don't have to live that every day, And then when you live it every day and you like sort of have to, there's not like a day you can take off per se. It's a much different feeling. And no, I mean, another thing was just like in conjunction with that happening, there was like I was like moving to Arizona to come up here for the pro off season. And so there was just like a lot of other additional things going on. But I mean, in terms of like results or just like how it's gone, like it's been really well. It's gone really well. But like there's a lot of, especially for like I'd say you're probably along the same lines of just maybe like generally getting like maybe some feedback of like, hey, this guy's like a little bit informal or like a little bit non. I don't want to use like non-political, but just like there's like a part of me that for my entire life has kind of just like represented myself per se, if that makes sense. And then like when you move into this role, you always get like caught into okay, now I'm representing like this entire department a bit more clearly. So just balancing that and then like going through that and just becoming kind of configuring like, okay, shit, I'm still going to be myself, Still going to be myself. I'm not going to filter a lot of those things out, but you do have to act a lot more. It is a lot more important that the things that you previously were almost like to some degree competing with your colleagues with, now you are getting everybody on the same page, and really you just want output, right? So like it's okay if it's a competitive setting and coaches are competing against one another, but you want to get everybody. Your basically job is to get everybody instead of dialing it in for yourself, you're dialing it in for everybody else and being supportive and also knowing where like I can't maybe influence or there's certain parts of pitching that I'm not going to be as skilled as another trainer, and making sure that they get their weight and get their like assigned tasks in that area where they can like help us the most. So. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a transition for sure, I'd say. It's been a transition. It's been weird going from only like coaching for the most part, to coaching and like presenting on things to obviously still a good bit of coaching, but transitioning into more of like, very, very, very literally coaching coaches and like, you've got the foundation for how people spend their time, how they're going to get the most output. And it's gone from, stressful, and it's always more of a stressful job, but to like, hey, how can I how can I make it so this guy's experience here, the things that maybe I went through that like, I don't want to say were bad, but just like I knew that I like wasted time on, like where can I help this guy out where he doesn't have to like go through that, expedite the process, and then in theory, everything about driveline pitching improves at a quicker level with that. So kind of a not necessarily, I didn't have like a great like checklist there of going through that in order, but that's like my main feedback in general of just like this role.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I don't know how meta we want to get, but I was gonna say I definitely know what you mean about the. I mean, the word I would use is like I think both of us, honestly, not to just gas both of us up too much. I mean, arguably there's like a drawback to it, obviously, but I think we're both like quite authentic, and like blunt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is why, like, I mean, first off, the two of us have worked way more closely together the last couple of months while you've been in this role than ever before, and also because of people leaving like Coin and stuff, and we've had we've worked through things, we've had like a couple ups and downs, but like I think one of the things that like has been helpful is like both of us like are not afraid to say our opinion, and also like not afraid to have like a bit of a. It's not like, okay, someone said like so and so, like I don't agree with that. I'm just gonna like sit on it, and then like it's gonna like it I'll be resentful in other ways versus like having that open and honest discussion. And like I don't think that applies to everyone. Like and like I think that's kind of rare too. Like in life too. Like just like most people are like, okay, either that person, I'm just gonna ignore them, or like fuck that person, or like whatever. I'll like make it work how much I can. Versus like both of us being kind of like, okay, let's like lay it out. What do we disagree on? Let's try to reach like a common boiling point. Work through it, whatever. So I think that's been helpful. That's been helpful and refreshing from my point of view, because again, that's like I think that is pretty rare. Also, I was gonna say, I definitely know what you mean about like once you get into a role, it like changes your perspective too. Like I've told this to Mike, our CEO, quite a bit too. Like now that I'm working more closely with him, a lot of the things that I would have feedback on before, now it's just like, okay, I understand like why those things are the way they are. It's just like
Right.
it's like a resource equation. Of course, like when you're running like a smaller ship, you can afford to spend more time on like X, Y, and Z. But when you're like running a larger ship, it's more about like forget about like checking off every single thing and being like the most thorough person, whatever facet. It's like the bigger picture. Are we working towards these goals? Are the big goals getting like toppled? Or like small deadlines can afford to get missed if the bigger picture stuff is getting checked off. So yeah, I definitely know what you mean.
No, yeah, that's a general. That's probably to some degree. We both like that's like one of the biggest reasons for working here. It's like one that like just so you can be yourself. Like if obviously I'd say at times I cross the line. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to like put myself down or whatever in front of everyone. But like there's been times where I've like been borderline unprofessional. But like the message and the tone, or like the way that the company like views that, I guess, is like something that could vary. Right, like the care and the attention to detail versus like being an asshole. Like don't get me wrong, there are times where like the proportion gets too the too much of it is in the asshole category, and like you gotta like mix it up a little more and blend those percentages. But like there's places where like very commonly where the best representation to like whatever maintain your job or increase the perceived performance of the job is to do things that are like really not actual like intrinsic output level things, so like that's one thing I think is just like a very, as I've like learned myself, just like I don't I don't want to like filter myself out of whatever you want to call it, like future opportunities or whatever, but like I just don't think I do not think I could be intentionally filtered regardless of what I made, and like be happy with it, and sometimes I'll become unfiltered, and like I'll get an opinion from you or somebody else, and you're just like, hey, you're wrong here, like not even your tone, like, but you were just like your opinion is wrong, and that's like fine. I don't have any issues with that, but the inability to express something, and just like that being like the number one thing in general, I think is something that can pretty easily be taken for granted. And also is like when you talk about like doing a job that's like fit to your like strengths as a person, or like to the context of like who you are, like there's a lot of places that would like not view me as like a manager or a leader, and that might be fair. I don't like know for sure, but I do know that the values I have are pretty well aligned with this place and like what the ultimate end goal is. So for really like anybody out there when it comes to this type of stuff, like you want to make sure. I tell coaches that are, everybody here is always very, very valued to other places and stuff. But like one of the biggest things when you're determining what you want to do is just like you want to find a place that's aligned with your thoughts. And we've had pitching coaches before that like are very non authoritative. They don't think it's the end of the world if a guy like doesn't throw a certain pitch. And we've had guys who just like, I'd say I'm closer to this category, are just going to like fight like hell because they just like, they're just like too valuable of a thing to them. Yeah. Like the more you know yourself and can apply it, I think that's where most of, at least like happiness and like future success, at least obviously a lot of it is noise and out of control, but the more you can like better conform what you want and kind of apply that filter to whatever job you're seeking, I think that's kind of the way to do it.
This is turning into a TED Talk, bro. No, I was gonna say on like just overall department results and kind of like responsibilities too. Obviously, we're kind of a place where we've added quite a few pitchers, and it's tough to like put in context because almost every single year we've had like leaps. Like we've had our ups and downs like financially, where obviously for a while we couldn't train people in gym, COVID, whatever, new facility, ups and downs there. But like in terms of just like getting steadily more and more notoriety and acclaim in the pro ball circles, I think it's been like a steady rise, but potentially like even like a bit of a step jump this last offseason. Do you know how many MLB pitchers we currently are training on either an AP plan or in-person AP plan, or sorry, partial AP plan?
So if you add up like, honestly, if you just add up like the people who assessed, I want to say pitching wise, it's like almost 50, and that's like assessed over the last basically like 365 days. So like, and most of that honestly is on the back 6 months. So if you were running like a rolling 6 months, like the assessment, like the amount of like, it's like we're averaging like 1.4 assessments per week. You know what I mean? With MLB guys, which like, I would say that, right. And like, obviously a lot of Bill, he was with the Angels now, got the assistant, I think he's the bullpen coach actually, but he was initially maybe the assistant PC. Yeah. He had a lot of success with Shohei and Cobb and Sandoval and a lot of guys. So I certainly think the performance there helped. And then when we opened up in Arizona, sometimes it's not even just like, a lot of it is word of mouth for sure, but also when you just like, you get to a geography and you can like represent your product. And then those guys are like, shit, like I was pretty close with this pitcher. And they're like, look, I like, they called him and they're just like, look, I really think this is like the ROI here, probably not spoken in such a fancy or formal lingo, is like worth it for you to like test this out and come see. You know what I mean? So, no, I would say for sure, and not, I don't want to confuse the results with me being in the position, but like in terms of just like very generally saying the pitching department health-wise, like it's been a really good 6 months. And like you said, the MLB stuff, I would say generally it's probably like a pretty, if the MLB product is going really well, you're going to see just like the entire product go well. And like it doesn't really matter which of those the correlation may not be it could be the other way around. I don't know for sure, I guess what I'm saying, but the point is like that has been right, and so that has been to your point, like that's been really cool to see. It's been really cool to see guys who have been here for like a year, as like Brandman's been here maybe a year and a half or so, but like he's got double-digit big leaguers. And like when I was coming up, it took me like a year to even get one.
Yeah.
Shout out Caleb Theobar, by the way.
I knew he was your first. I'm not Caleb was your first.
Oh yeah. Funny though, my first pitch design was he was in AAA at the time, but Joe Barlow, and then he. What's really funny is it was a slider, and like you're like there's like a lot of fables, and like the funny thing is though, and like kind of a fun message in general of just like your process versus like sometimes the coaching specifically is like he had never thrown a slider before, basically got to the big leagues throwing that slider, and then not only did that, but like he threw the slider like 60% of the time, and like never ran a pitch design going into that. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's kind of funky if you just like this is like not high-end coaching filtering for Driveline employees, but like you have the right like pitch type in mind. You like you can still get that you still get like results like that. So right. So it's been cool to see that be more involved with like the entire department, whereas before it was very much condensed to a group of probably like up to 3 trainers, and now it's it really is.
You need everyone to be involved to like get through it.
Right.
Yeah.
And also it's to be honest, good for the athlete too. Like we can talk all about like coaching talent or whatever, like how people perceive coaching talent, but like if you've got 50 guys and they're spread across like 6 people, the amount of like
one time
dedicated band 100%. And so like that's always good. And before we never could get that type of volume for guys, especially who would like stay on our year-round plan. And so it's just been cool to see those opportunities spread around. And then there's obviously some differences between an MLB guy and a Gen Pop guy. That's not like, that are more contextual, just like goals. I would say like one guy's trying to throw harder, the other guy's a bit more nuanced and like has these specific things, and you're looking for these things in a game. And the long story short, there is like an MLB, if you can get a guy 1.5% better, like on his true talent, it's like, a lot of money. Whereas like for a college guy, that's just like not enough. It's just like not enough to. So you're like just trying to hammer out velocity or whatever the specific variable of interest for getting to the next level is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what I've told people too. Like people like not, people either left the company or people that kind of know a little bit of the company, and I would talk to them about work, and like, how are things? So like, things are good from a business point of view. Like busy, busy as fuck. Like specifically for both of us too on the MLB side, it's like, right. Yeah, man. I mean, it's you can't really complain because getting more clients, getting more notoriety, the business is growing, but it's been it's been a grind for sure. For like a few people too. So I mean, like I said, we're lucky we're in the spot too, where we can kind of like grow and hire people and continue to flesh out the product. Like we just had a 1+ hour talk about the improvements on our advanced scouting reports, which are I think in a decent spot and I think going to be in a better spot after the stuff we talked about. But it's also fun too. It is also fun like thinking about different ways to strategize. How can you deliver the biggest impact? What's their metric models to use? Staying up to date with like current research, putting our own stuff out there. I was going to ask you, how have the Valley Sports been doing? Like the deep dive, the Driveline deep dives. I saw the first couple, but honestly, I'm not super familiar with the current like scale of it too. Are you still doing those, or have they all been filmed?
I honestly don't know how much I can talk about. They've all been filmed. That they've the videos they've like initially wanted. I don't know that all of them have been like displayed yet to like broadcast, but I know Grinky's was his like deception or whatever. Sonny Gray, like his like 2-seamer that's like when you didn't have models or like any quantifiers of like non-Magnus movement, it just like always overperformed. There's one on. I honestly don't know if I can talk about the other stuff. I'm not even. You know me. But I do know the Greenkey one got a lot of play. Yeah. There's a lot of interest that there may be. I can at least hint that there may be some more stuff coming there potentially. So with Greenkey specifically. So, but no.
I guess generally speaking, like, and again, you don't have to reveal any industry secrets or whatever, but like, say you get a new client and you're looking at their data, you have access to their Statcast data, like, and you've seen them pitch a couple of times. What's kind of your approach? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you game plan stuff? Like, what kind of metrics do you use? Like, what situational stuff do you care about? How do you communicate that stuff?
So you're referring not to like somebody coming in for an assessment and changing their arsenal
Yeah.
off season. You're talking about like somebody that we worked with on the off season. It's June 5th and they're pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the main thing I basically preach is like I want to like you basically want to like talk and more or less have like an overarching communication about like how they pitch and like have that be the basis, right? So like on a scouting report, somebody's throwing like a sinker backdoor or like to a righty or like into a righty, like those pitches are very different in terms of like how they produce outcomes. One is like more chase or swing intensive when you run into a righty. The other is more like take intensive where you start as a ball, end it as a strike. So like in terms of like communicating on the report, you want to make sure like you're not every single time being like this guy takes a sinker, glove side, chases it. You know what I mean? So like you want to basically start with like all of that baseball savvy that is like generally true. Use that as like, hey, that's like generally speaking, that's how every hitter is going to behave.
Yeah.
Right. And so you want to try to avoid that stuff. And then you basically then apply the logic of where are the deviators. Like that's honestly where I would say is most of it. There is definitely a component of it that requires like, some form of human manipulation or like intervening without question. I would say most of that is like the pitcher's true talent traits and making sure you're like accounting for those appropriately. And when guys have bigger samples, right, and their intrinsic run values can start to be regressed to their actual outcomes. There's a little bit of an art there. And also just like the entire nature of the advanced report is as such that like, there are basically like very bad answers. There are bad answers, and then there are just like good anecdotes or good like options to pitch a guy.
What do you focus on? Yeah, like kind of like what do you focus on?
Oh, sure.
There's going to be too much information. Yeah.
Right. I'd say mainly you want to like account for the pitcher's strengths to some degree, like four-seam fastballs. Like if it's Joe Ryan, like his report's going to be different than Griffin Jax's. They're just for Griffin Jax like sliders. Joe Ryan like sliders not his best pitch. It's not. So like that's part of it. And then I think mainly just like on the hitting standpoint, just like making sure I generally judge the swing behavior and the bat to ball skills more, just because they're more likely to stabilize and like that sample. And then those run values can just like honestly be, they can be misleading. To some degree. And also it's not even, you want to, if the pitcher controls what pitch they throw, that's like the number one thing you want to make sure of, right? Because that's like, that requires no amount of talent. And then you have where they should throw the pitch. Now that's where one guy misses by 15 inches, one guy misses by 11 inches. How do we set this guy up for success? That calculation is like not going to be objectified yet, nor agreed upon industry-wide, but that's a very important distinguishing thing to make. And I think it's like, you can talk about it from a game planning standpoint. You can talk about it from an arsenal standpoint of just like, you've got like your stuff plus, you can have a curveball that's a stuff plus of 100 and a curveball is stuff plus that's 100. But like one of these guys has bad command. You want to shift that guy into a more like swing inducing curveball. The guy with the good command and, you can maybe like get some shape on it and like basically just say, hey, if he throws 1,000 of these a year, we want to like incentivize takes here, So there's some glamour there that I think can apply across the entire advanced report. But I mean, the main thing we're trying to do is get good outcomes for the pitcher. I think it used to be try to impress the pitcher for information. You know what I mean? And now it's much more like, hey, what can, like when you're in a game, like what can you handle?
We're gonna take away.
Right, and you got like here's like a very condensed version, like a game card, and then here's like a report that is like filtered for like anytime you look at one of these cells or whatever, like or row column combinations or whatever you want to call it, like anything that's on there is going to like have some type of takeaway. And it may just be there's no bias there, but you want to make sure, in my opinion, you're not just fucking showing them all of, you know what I mean? You don't want to just show them fucking absolutely everything.
Yeah. Here's 150 columns per each row. you just him that fact for it. You just him that fact for it. You've been sending me off the old Stack SDB. Also, by the way, when I said like what do you focus on, what are the strengths? I was like saying that in line of what you were saying. I was just like saying something to riff off of you. But then once we started actually answering the question, I was like, all right, I'll let him cook. But no, that was a good answer. Honest question for me, because I don't know. I haven't really asked anybody this, but I'm curious. Like, and like don't go into specifics. You can just like give me like general stuff if there's anything generally. But how have pitchers been like reacting to the pitch clock and just rule changes overall? Like, have you gotten like much feedback, or people been like, fuck, like so and so or whatever, or has it been like not that big of a conversation?
Depends on the guy. I mean, I'm honestly, man, like it's kind of odd. I think most people in the like sports performance industry are like fairly opinionated or like give a. I just like don't. I just don't see. I really, and I don't get me wrong. Like, there's going to be cases where certain guys have like a certain amount of pitches, or if you have a splitter that's like a wider grip or something, you feel like you got to like maybe start that in your glove versus something else. Like, there's some case by case stuff, but I honestly haven't gotten a lot. I'll occasionally hear guys like, "Oh, I'm not mixing in this pitch in as much because like." I just can't get if I make too many shakes, I can't get to it. You know what I mean? Or like, I've heard things like that, which also could just be like excuses to not throw the pitch. You know what I mean? Like, but I would say it would be incorrect to take my evaluation from it because I'm just like I've just seen people speak very passionately about like to some degree how it's affected them. But like when I like watch it, and also when I like evaluate the metrics or just like the data, I'm just like I just don't at least league wide I don't think it's affecting that much. I think some of the pickoff stuff maybe. I think there's obviously things with the run environment changing that that could be whether it's bases or limited pickoffs or just like more steals, more runners on, etc. Like that, yeah, for sure. But like in theory, if I'm thinking of it from like everybody can still like if the league average ERA is a 4 and then next year it's a 4.4 and a homie goes from a 4 to a 4.4, he's still the same pitcher. It really is. That guys don't know that, but so from that standpoint, I don't have much of an opinion on the pitch clock, to be honest. And I've got a couple guys that I've seen either directly tell me or like are a bit outspoken in quotes about it, but I wouldn't say it's been as drastic as maybe just the easy talking point. Yeah.
I haven't looked into it too much. I know there's some evidence that the injuries are up. I know Mike Son, who I want to have on for another episode, put out some stuff about pitch clock potentially just leading to or just making like injuries like more susceptible, or some players more susceptible to injuries. Again, I haven't really looked at it at all. I know. I'm actually curious. One person I actually kept meaning to look at. Maybe I'll do it right now. Kenley Jansen, bro. Kenley Jansen for me is a poster boy of fucking slow ass pitches. Stats.
Look at this dude. He's throwing way harder. He's got like it's like cutters turn into basically like a. It's closer to like the zero. It's way fucking harder. It's like closer to the zero line.
4.26 ERA this season though. 4.26 ERA.
Gives a, I could give two fucks about that.
Yeah, reliever. Yeah.
Let me get some. I can let the guys at Applebee's talk about his ERA.
Oh, they have been. All right, let's see. xERA only 3.4. I mean, he's only pitched. How much has he pitched? Savant should have the innings pitched. Bro.
I mean, it looks like it looked. I don't know if he's on the IL. It looks like it's got. He had a really good first. His last 5 games. He's got his last 2 games were looks like kind of bloated everything.
But
if you
the last couple
go to his like stuff. Yeah, look at the velo. 94.8 to
harder. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, everything's up. Everything's up by like 2-3 miles. That's kind of crazy.
I don't know. I'm guessing he like modified his cutter grip or something because he's like not getting as much like it's not as much gyro spin. I'd imagine, but like I'm pretty sure it like rates out similarly or better.
Also, he's 35. You know what I mean? Like at some point. At some point, he's just gonna be. I mean, but yeah, he's throwing harder. That's actually pretty crazy. I didn't realize. Damn, must be getting hit hard by a BABIP. Does Savon have BABIP on? We gotta go. we gotta go on a fucking Fangraphs. I can't share on screen though.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear? Dude, I'm fine telling this on the podcast because it already happened like a meeting with Rathwell and like a bunch of senior business people, and I joked about it like I think the other day in a meeting. But like I mean, you've been in enough meetings with me that you know I'm like very quick to screen share. You know, I have no problem screen sharing, boom, hopping from window to window, right? Like we were just doing it earlier today. And a few weeks ago, I was in a meeting with Mike and a bunch of senior people. And have you ever heard of the show MILF Manor?
No, I haven't.
It's some trash reality show. I watched like 2 episodes. It's not even good. It's not like I mean it's barely entertaining. It like the concept is pretty nuts. The concept is it's like, and who knows how much of it is fake, right? But by the way, also I'm checking on pull up Fangraphs. Oh yeah. Oh bro, look at this, dude. Oh my god. Hold up, bro. Kenley Jansen's BABIP is 382 this year. Holy shit. I mean, it's 12 innings, so who gives a fuck?
Look at Matt Brash. Go to Brash's. Go to pull it up. This'll
blow my mind. Where is it? Oh, 512. Oh, in 19 innings. Holy shit. Dude, I can't believe only the 4.74 ERA, dude. That's actually beast, bro. He should have a 9 ERA if half the balls in play are fucking on base. Oh my god. 51.25.
Right.
So
you know, I mean XFIP too. Like there's
yeah.
No. So it's I mean that's relievers for you. I mean for one, he's like pitching well.
He's throwing hard. He's throwing hard.
Most of the, but relievers.
17 Oh shit. Holy
ground
shit,
ball,
bro.
It's also like there's like ground ball percentage too. Like you're not normally there's like not it's like very difficult to get ground balls and strike out people because it's like
that's crazy. Yeah. That's the only way he's given. I mean, that's the only way he can have a above 500 BABIP and not have an obscenely high ERA. He's striking out. He's striking out for two people. Oh my god, dude, that's fucking crazy. Oh wow, yeah. Who has him? Siggy? Is he Siggy's athlete or is he yours?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's mine, but I normally don't word it like that. But yeah, he's gotten fucked by BABIP. Pretty bad. And it's like it's just like right, and it's just like you'd like sit here like most even like front offices or whatever. They just like sit there and they're just like, yeah, this guy's unlucky. And then it's just like, well, in his mind, he's like some guy bloops one over and it's like a million fans like fucking screaming and cheering for the other team and like some fucking guys at Applebee's like, oh, this guy fucking sucks. And it's like you just like forget like you take for granted what proportion of the you take for granted what proportion of the population though like actually knows like that's homie you're good you're gonna be fine but.
That's a good point in general in terms of sports like people just being crazy reactionary. I mean, did you see? Have you watched the NBA playoffs?
Not a ton. I'm a LeBron guy, so I always check the boxes to see how he's doing. But
well, first off, by the way, since I've been living in SoCal the last couple of months, I've been hopping on the Lakers bandwagon. But did you see him with the dunk yesterday? Like fast break. He's got a windmill reverse it, and it just like slipped out of his hands like I've never seen that before. Like it's complete butterfingers, and he also whiffed like a layup back to back. But people are like, bro, people are still fucking nuts with the LeBron like expectations. Homie's 38, literally having like obviously the best age 38 season of all time. You know, second would be like probably like, you know, I'm not a basketball historian, but like probably a Kareem with like 18 points a game. You know what I mean? Like 99% of people are out of the league at age 38. LeBron's still like a top, like, you know, borderline top 10 player, taking a Lakers team out of the 7th seed deep. And people were like, I caught the first half at this bar in LA, Elbow Room, for anyone that's in LA, pretty good sports bar. This gets packed early. Like I got there like 5 minutes into the game. There's like one spot open at back patio. It's like at a diagonal view. I have to be like leaning like this to like see the game. Dude, people were like bugging, like, oh fuck, he's washed. He doesn't have any more. It's like, dude, yeah, he's 38. He's obviously like slower and has the biggest spots, but like that never happens. Like the ball just slipped out of his hands on the reverse windmill. It is sucked because the Lakers gave up a lead and like deep in the third, and I think they lost like 4 or 5 points, and he had two misses. But like again, it's like LeBron somehow still gets held to the absolute highest standards at fucking age 38.
Yeah, I've got this thing up and it says like so an average PER player, whatever, probably not the best stat, but player efficiency rating, the average is like 15. There is 7 total players age 38 that have put up over a 15 PER. So like it's just like that's not even talking about like best. It's just like there's like nobody who's even. It's almost impossible to be average at 38. Like it's almost fucking impossible.
I think LeBron's like LeBron might be the oldest player in the league. I think he might be the oldest player in the league. It's like him or Iggy or Udonis Haslem.
Yeah, it's definitely Udonis Haslem, but that's
he might be retired at this point. Is Udonis Haslem still?
He's been a player coach for like 5 years. So look at his stats. He put up like 20 points in the last regular season game because I think
I saw that.
I think they are already clinched, but bro, he's been collecting service time.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, this basketball reference page. Also, by the way, what I was saying on it just turns out us just looking at basketball reference. The whole dude, this is up there from one of my favorite podcasts, by the way. When did he last play? Okay, April. One board. How much did he play? 2 minutes. Let's go. Oh wait, when did he? Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, this is what you're talking about, bro. Against the Magic. Dropped 24 and 25. Oh, he was just shacking up shots, dude. There's no way. I mean, he went through 7 from the 3. They must have just been leaving him open. Also, bro, this fucking pop. You see this pop that's popped up for a split second. I thought it was Harden, dude. When I saw. All right, fuck Skip. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. Wait, how do I fucking stop sharing?
Skip's a big BABIP guy.
Skip's a big Driveline R&D podcast fan.
I said he's a big BABIP guy. He's a big like fucking all of a sudden guy. Like just like the correlation between like being weak-minded is just like 0.97 and that and BABIP for like Skip Bayless. If you talk to baseball, but
yeah. Anyways, what I was gonna say, just because I brought it up, I had a bad screen share experience a few weeks ago with Mike and a bunch of senior business people in the meeting. I was like running, I was running the biz ops meeting, and like MLB Banner, like I said, is not even a good show, but I'd watch the trailer on YouTube or whatever. So I started typing something in, like something related to our dashboards or whatever, and I don't know what I typed in, but the combination of it, like it brought up the link I was looking for, but also brought up MLB Manor, like the MLB Manor trailer, the YouTube link right under it, and I'm screen sharing, and I see it, and I was like, oh shit. And I accidentally just flub it. I click on the MILF Manor video in the trailer, just loads up. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I switched to another tab, like close it, like, obviously, like, nobody cares, and it wasn't, like, crazy inappropriate. But, bro, Asher bailed me out, too. She's like, MILF Manor, like, and I was like, oh, like, you think it's a good, I was like, you watch it? She's like, yeah, it's entertaining. I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's kind of a shitty show, though, whatever. And we moved on. But after that, I've stopped trying to screen share, bro. I've stopped trying to screen share when I switch tabs. I just, like, stop screen sharing, pull up the other tab, then go back to screen sharing.
That's so easy.
For anyone listening, that's the tip. When you're running a team, that's what you got to look out for.
Oh, gosh. It's so easy to fucking Forget, dude. It's so easy to forget your screen sharing. I did it today in our meeting. Like I was just like, you were just like, I just presenting over something for like 3 minutes. You're like, you like going over something. I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, the visual is 100% needed with that the talking.
Yeah. Same things happen at York. York's just rambling on to me about like some like flow or diagram. I was like, bro, I don't think you're screen sharing anything. He's like, oh shit.
Just like describing artwork, and you're like, I could use the painting here.
But the other thing I wanted to ask you about was, I guess what do you think about like the sweepers and slurves being also sorry two points. A, do you think the sweepers and slurves being introduced as MLB pitch types are just like gonna like how close do you think we are to reaching the optimal distribution of slurves and sweepers? A very, very general question, so I'm not looking for like, I'm just kind of like curious what your initial thoughts on that are, because obviously like once you start classifying sweepers and slurves, more people are going to try to like throw that. And I think like the Dodgers are one team that's like typically been ahead of the curve on sweepers. And actually, like I've been meaning to run this query and post something out on Twitter, but I'm curious like what the proportion is on teams using sweepers. And then also, I mean you've been DMing Mike Petriello about getting some updated pitch types, which A is helpful for us, running stuff off of the StatCast data, but B is also like pretty interesting because it's like whatever, it's almost like whatever pitcher or like whoever like helps that pitcher out, how clued they are to like data and just general like data structure, where it flows from, how to like communicate it. They have a pretty decent advantage because you actually get your arsenal like recognized. All you have to really do is like know what you're talking about and then DM like someone from Baseball Savant, and then they'll edit it. So yeah, I'm curious for your overall thoughts on like sweepers and slurves and just pitch type classification.
So are you saying like optimize in terms of like reach like the threshold of like, hey, that like gets close enough to like we've been? I mean, I would just combine sweepers and slurves. I just call them all sweepers probably.
Yeah. Slurves, by the way, have been pretty rarely classified. I want to run an actual query and see what it is, but I think like off the top of my head, like it's only been a few hundred slurves thrown in the season so far. It's been like I don't know, over 10G sweepers. Like sweepers are much more common than slurves right now in the MLB system.
It's also like a slurve generally has like a negative connotation, I think, like just in general.
Just in between, kind of.
Yeah, when like historically when you've said right, like whereas sweeper is just like, oh, that's a lateral pitch, I mean, from the public view, I think like if you just had sweepers, took out the slurve, just bucketed them all, I think that's probably like you're probably like at the max threshold there, in my opinion, like for at least 5 to 10 years. From the analyst or like pitch design or coach point of view, I mean, you can't always just like manually classify it, but like you basically want to know. One thing I do think is true that you brought up is like I think there's a lot more people throwing like sliders and sweepers now because they actually changed those. I think a lot of people were very hesitant to throw like a slider and a sweeper because they like for no pitch. Yeah. Right. Well, it just get not right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, just like you would like, there's something in humans that's like, well, if it's not recognized as a pitch classification, and I don't have any capability of like classifying it as such, then like there's probably an expectation like, oh, this is not supposed to be a thing. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like I think that's something that probably actually you'll have more of that now. I think for the public, like sweepers, sliders, your hard breaking balls are like your hard true breaking balls are sliders. Your hard, like, contact-inducing breaking balls are cutters. Your curveballs are curveballs. Your sweepers are sweepers. Those are easy to distinguish. And then you just have 4-seam sinker. Just call it sinker to get 2 seams and 1 seams is the same thing. That's fine. And then you have splitter and just regular changeup. I think from the public view, that's chill. I'm lowering my desk, by the way. Get down here a little lower. And then
go ahead.
Oh, from like a pitch design standpoint, it's like that's just like it's a bit more. It's obviously much more niche than like broadcasting an entire game, but like that's when like there's a lot more nuance in terms of like you're mainly just like like a splitter can be thrown in. I wouldn't say like there's a variety of ways to throw a splitter, like where your fingers are and how you get the necessary movement on it, depending on some of the pitchers like attributes or biases, but like from a classification standpoint of watching the game, not necessarily important to note like split changeup, Vulcan, forkball. I think they have forkball too, by the way.
Yeah. Slow curve or something. They have like that fucking grindy slow curve or Ephus or whatever.
I was just gonna.
No, go ahead.
All I was going to say just depends on who you're like trying to describe it to. If the idea is you're describing it to a general audience, I think no different than the pitch clock. Like if 10,000 niche fans paid for 95% of MLB's like product, then sure, fucking make it as absurd and like as like what we would do internally as you can. But when you're trying to broadcast it out, I think that's probably the 80-20.
Yeah. I wonder how common a fastball, or four-seamer, like gyro, slider, sweeper combo is going to be. Like just that combo in the future. You know what I mean? Because again, I'm obviously not a pitching coach or pitch design specialist, nor have I like ran analysis on this, but that almost seems like a pretty intuitive, like as far as like 3-pitch combos. Which, again, I think there's like a decent argument to make for most people that throw like a lot of pitches. Like, you probably don't need to throw like 6 pitches. You know, probably not 5, 3 or 4 for most people. I assume is like likely a again, just like realistically, people are not going to have like 5+ pitches. You know, they need a few pitches to introduce variety, whatever. But I don't think that's like a crazy combo, you know, just sticking to a gyro, slider, sweeper, and fastball. Like, what's your initial intuition on that? Again, I'm just riffing. Like, I'm just talking like, especially from a righty, probably, or maybe, I don't know. Do you think that's like a realistic, like, popular 3-pitch combo that could be prevalent in the future?
I mean, a lot of it's just like for a left-handed hitter, like. Sure, whatever, gyro's like 0-0, so in theory it's like a little more platoon sensitive or like not, but like it's not, I don't think it's as extreme as people think. Like I don't think, you know what I mean? Like it probably just depends a decent bit. Like ideally the pitcher honestly would just like, if they had, what you really have is like a right-handed breaking ball for like takes and wipeouts, your sweeper, and then you have a like contextual harder slider that like either you can like use to a lefty, throw it a little harder, get it like, you know, a little bit of vert, just ensure like for good bat to ball guys, low power guys, like you're not fucking around with takes and like you're just going after them with like that type of shape, but also avoiding a fastball, so to speak. I think that slider would just be like, it'd just be very contextual to the situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that, I think that's like that would be the way to do it. I think a lot of people just like get in love with the stuff model. And one thing that's like, that takes a while for people to like truly understand is like if you have 3 pitches, right? Adding a 4th pitch isn't necessarily just like an additional, like, oh, you get like, this added on to like, you know, you don't just get like an automatic incentive. You're competing against like what would essentially be using your previous arsenal and its usage, and whatever you think or believe that pitch is getting penalized for being shown more often, you're competing against that. So like that's the thing I always go back to. But I mean, I think like two pitches that are generally like for a starter arsenal that are fairly like, you know, you guys will throw 50 of them a year. A lot of the times, if they're just a starters, like a curveball and a sinker, to be honest, like you'll just like guys will have that if they don't have like an absurdly good 4-seam. Like, so those are the main thing is just like you generally need 2 for each hand, you know, for a right-handed hitter, left-handed hitter. So, and then the rest of it is all contextual. So, but the point I was making, though, I do think the like stuff. A lot of people are going to basically trick guys into throwing like they'll just be like, all right, you don't want to throw a sweeper more. We really like breaking balls and like the run performance of them. They'll just be like, all right, now you have this different slider, and like they're really just like kind of just like tricking them into throwing like more highly graded breaking balls, you know. But from a context standpoint, definitely just like the gyro would be like a little more like contact inducing. Generally gets hit harder. But yeah, I don't know for sure. I think it's become much more of a trend just because it's become accepted. But for like a starter, that's not really. I mean, I think you're still probably too much biased towards like a no platoon pitch there, unless if, like if you're Spencer Strider, like your talent level is just so strongly like outweighed the neglect of having like a pitch to a lefty for a put away or whatever. That's like truly for a lefty that like doesn't fucking matter. Like most people do not have that leeway. But yeah, I guess that's kind of my thoughts.
You gonna be up in Washington anytime soon, or are you in AZ for a while? I mean, you were in Washington last week, but
I think I come up every like 3 months, and then like obviously anything contextual or sensitive on a timeline come up. Something could come up, or it could be like the All-Star game. I think we'll have a few guys in that. So probably be another time.
Wait, is the All-Star game in Seattle?
Yeah, I think. I'm gonna sound like I didn't know that. Yeah, bro, it's in Seattle, dude.
Yeah, dude. I was about to say, I'm bummed. I'm bummed I didn't actually go out with you guys when I was in AC. When Wass and I were in AC for Saber, dude. Did Wass? Well, Wass didn't even get in, right? Wass was trying to get into the bar you guys were at, and he got bounced because he was wearing like.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah, I wasn't. I don't remember much. I just. We went to I think it was like Gargus's birthday or something.
Yeah. No, I was down for it. I don't even know, bro. I don't think I've ever talked to Gargus, but I was super down to go out with you guys. But then we just first off, we redid our like presentation the night before, like the Saber presentation, because I'd never given it. Wass had given it, and like the day before, like the afternoon before, we were at Saber. We went upstairs to like practice it. And I was like stumbling through it, which I knew was going to happen because again, I'd never given a presentation before. And then we're just like, but also when we were going through, I was like, this doesn't make like it should be this. We should add this, whatever. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep early. Woke up at like way earlier than I thought, like 3 or 4 a.m. Worked like 4 hours on it, like downstairs in the like hotel, kitchen area or breakfast area. Then was fucking tired as hell. Like I was already running on low sleep. Was tired as hell. Went back to our rooms, passed out, woke up. I was like, "Yo, Wass, where you at?" And then like, and then like I didn't press it. I was like, "Man, I'm tired as hell." Like, if I get like, "Yo, come to this bar, we're going out," I was like, "I'll do it." If I don't get that text, I was like, "I'm fine chilling." But yeah, right. I wish I'd gone out with you guys. But I'll probably be in AC at some point over the next couple months. Then probably maybe before you come to Washington. Well, I mean, I'm not in Washington right now, so we'll have to run it back. Especially now that I know how. No, I mean. We can get some beer bottles, and I can show you how to open some bottles, dude. Because I'm motivated to teach you how to do it.
Hell yeah, pop the bottle virginity, so to speak. You just fucking, dude. It is fucking warm here, man. It is warm. Dude, we were at like a Mexican restaurant, I think, when you guys had messaged us, and I was just like I was not confident in my awareness at the time, but I swear I saw Perry, the like Angels GM, but like I was just like not aware enough to be like, I was just like, there's like a decent shot. I'm gonna just like go up to this guy and like it's just not gonna be him. But I was just like texted Bill immediately. I was like, God damn it, dude! I was gonna like ask him how many fucking like monsters you had like taken down off of the Angels like payroll.
Just some fucking random dude. He's like, how many white monsters has Coach Bill crushed?
Yeah, and that's how I would have done it. Like, I'm not gonna like stop. I'm not gonna like stop a GM and fucking. But you're just like got it right into the fucking conversation. The guy's like, Coach Bill, what the fuck are you like? You talking about Josh Allen? What are we talking about here? Like,
Coach Bill. And you're just like you put on the cap and try to like give like a Coach Bill, like you're like Coach Bill.
God damn it! The white monster would have given it. Yeah, I just needed one of those just in my pocket.
Yeah. But okay, sweet. I think we can wrap it here, and keep the What is it? 114. Okay, not bad. So we only had 5% of the podcast. You looking for a beer opener, but that was an electric opening. But okay, so
Bro,
I'm probably gonna try to upload this. Later today, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I looked at the time. 19 minutes, I think, is when we got past the introduction. Like that was when like the first topic was discussed. I'm down.
No, but that was money, dude. I haven't had Degen drink talk on it for a while. That's what I was saying. I mean, again, I don't know the full demographic. I mean, I kind of do from the. I just haven't looked in a bit, but like me, Lindley, and Brady were good for like 3 to 4 minutes of Degen drink talk, and then haven't had this podcast for a month. Got to stack it. So now people know our now people know your Nebraska drinking background.
Yeah, dude. I came back like after opening that beer bottle, and you were just like had on like Kershaw's like pitch types, and I was like. I wasn't prepared for this. Like, thankfully, this isn't. I was like, I don't fuck. It's like you're fucking, the Kershaw's curve. I haven't fucking looked at Kershaw's curveball that closely. Like, shit.
Kershaw's wicked curve, bro. It's all you know. Kershaw's wicked curve.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Well, you threw me. The introduction was one hell of a wicked curve, to say the least. That was to the context there.
Okay, nice. All right, I'm gonna cut it here for recording. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see how often I do the podcast, but hopefully, hopefully we'll see one next week. Peace.